Well, it's 10:30 now, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're really glad that you could. Hopefully we can share some good information with you. So it's best practices for working with affiliates with small lists. My name is Janine Crooks. I'm in partner development and acquisition at AWIN. We're the largest affiliate network in the world. So we're in like 15 countries and all that kind of good stuff. Been doing this since forever, like 22 years. God, I'm old. You know, and I'm on the board of the Performance Marketing Association. Just have been around and have like done all sorts of stuff in affiliate marketing. So I'm always happy to be a resource for anybody, by the way, anytime, because I love the industry. John?
Yes, I'm next. So, good morning, everybody. My name is John Liberto. I'm the head of affiliate marketing for GetResponse. Prior to GetResponse, I've worked for Liquid Web and 1&1 Eyes for their small business affiliate marketing programs. And prior to that, working with Travelocity when they were still around. So I'm here about 15 years experience working with affiliate programs and performance marketing. Hopefully I can give you some insights and have some fun later on too, questions.
And Mike?
I'm Mike Allen. I'm the founder of Business Right is an internet marketing agency, and I've been doing affiliate marketing since 1999. So, like Janine, I guess been doing it a long time. So excited to be here and talk about all of these things.
And one thing we actually don't advertise is the fact that we've been doing this for about 8 years together with affiliate summits and do presentations with this panel of the three of us. So hopefully we'll be able to finish each other's sentences and
We're to that point. So what we wanted to do is say, why are we targeting these affiliates? Because, you know, I mean, so many of the folks that are here are used to working with the mega lists. You know, they've got 2.3 million people and that kind of thing. And we're talking about the affiliates, like the ones that I'm talking about specifically more, are like the little guys. The influencers, the small bloggers and stuff like that. They've got a couple hundred, they've got a couple thousand of really, really, really dedicated readers. And so that's, you know, that can be more powerful than the 1.8 million, you know, huge list of people that are kind of like, yeah, versus, oh my God, Nancy the sewing lady sent me a new email today and she loves this product, I'm gonna buy it. You know, they're a trusted source. People signed up for their email because they trust those people. You know, they are so hyper-targeted. So if you've got a specific product as opposed to your whole catalog, that's a group that you can reach out to. And you know, if you want to just try testing something out, here's this nice little solid group of good responders that you can reach out to before you send out to the 1.8 million. So that's part of the reason why we wanted to really identify this group, because so often they're overlooked and they're so powerful.
And one of the things that's kind of interesting is, you know, I'm in a unique position because GetResponse is a marketing platform, and we have a very large affiliate program. So we're both merchant and product, and we have about 65,000, 70,000 affiliates, believe it or not. And one of the things when we were putting this together, it was a little light bulb moment. You know, the tactics that we use basically are the same for smaller list folks as larger list folks. The difference is those tactics are more long tail. So for the bigger email affiliates, you'd be working very closely with them, you'd be developing specific content for them, but at the same time, with the smaller list group, you're doing more long tail and just providing content for them to use and helping them to sell. So we're going to marry some of those tactics and strategies together here in this presentation to give you guys an idea of what we do and how it applies to these other groups.
So the plan is we're going to go over just kind of 10 best practices on ways to maximize working with these lists. Some of them you may have heard before, and that's great. Sometimes it's always good to have a reminder about, you know what, it's been a while since I've done that. So that's what we're up to. So Mike's going to start us off.
And one of the advantages of affiliate marketing is the relationship. It's a relationship between the advertiser, like John would be, and the affiliate. Sometimes they're called publishers in the industry. So you have a personal relationship with them, and it's supposed to be win-win, because when they get a sale for you, they get paid, but you get the sale. So ideally, you find affiliates that are going to be long-term partners in your relationship, for this win-win relationship. So one thing I like to stress is look at the affiliates as truly part of your marketing team. They're one of your channels. And in doing that, you need to be selective about who you let in, because there are great affiliates and there are scammy affiliates. So screen them, and sometimes you'll see auto-approved affiliate programs, and that's a very bad idea in my opinion. They need to be screened up front, find out what they're doing, check on their performance. And a tip I have for checking on performance, you get an understanding of what your data looks like, particularly the conversion rate. Look for deviations from that conversion rate. I will run individual reports on every affiliate every month and look at their conversion rate. If you see a number that's very low relative to your average or very high, pay attention to those in particular. The low ones can tank the overall performance for your program. The high ones you might want to pay more attention to see, this is a whale for you. Let's keep working with them. So look for that conversion rate number. And conversion rate is just the clicks it takes them to get a sale. It's just that simple. There's not a lot of data that has to be collected here. Just really simple numbers can take care of most everything. Then as far as the channels and looking across, you have your marketing channels, and it's easy to get them siloed where we start thinking, oh, this is search, this is email, whatever. This is affiliate. But really, you can use your affiliates to enrich your other channels, because they do testimonials, they do videos, endorsements, reviews. They have their own efforts. And many times you can use those efforts in your other channels, and vice versa, you can share with them as well. Often there are ways to look at this where you can do co-branded efforts with your affiliates, put them on your channels sometimes to help grow their list, and in exchange for them doing more with you. It doesn't always have to be money that changes hands here, but you can use those other avenues to promote your affiliates so they can better promote you. And that's the win-win of affiliate marketing.
Next, pull your publishers. It amazes me how many merchants that I run into who really haven't tapped into this resource. They're so used to their affiliates putting on text links or putting on banner ads or something like that. But we're here talking about email, and it is so underutilized. So find out what it is, how long have they had a list? How big is it? What are the demographics of it? Can they segment it so that you can just focus on one target? Can we just focus on the kids on your list versus the grandparents who shop for the kids or something like that? So there's a lot of different things to do on that. See what their frequency rate is, their open rate, conversion rate. We know all of those metrics, but really take a look at it affiliate by affiliate, and you're gonna see the cream rise to the top. Who are those, top 20, top 50, top 100 or whatever that I wanna work with and target? And see how successful they are for you. That's the big difference, because there's some publishers that are out there that will just be amazing for, some other brand that's kind of in your same niche, but not really you. See who it is that's doing there, but kind of the same way Mike was saying, take a look at those guys who seem like they have the potential to become that next whale, and capitalize on it. See if maybe a little bit of work's gonna do it. But for starters, really get to know your affiliates on this and see who's got that list, because there's so much potential.
So what do you do next, right? You've told your publishers, you've got some data, you've got some information on what they do, and who their demographic is, and exactly what they can and can't sell, can and cannot sell. So basically, then create groups. Group your email list affiliates into for special communications, for special promotions. Basically what we have here is a pool of a group of people that can go out and reach customers in a way that you may not be able to reach, where they have access to groups of customers that they're very warm with and they can influence. You may have a group of bloggers and influencers, those might be separate groups. But the reason why you would do all this is to say, okay, basically what we have here is a test for a promotion or some sort of unique discount, or try to see if something that you want to do as a merchant with your product or service can be done in mass scale, or on one-on-one, right, on one-on-one scale. So they may have a unique pool of customers that they are influencing, and you may want to figure out what the messaging is for that unique group. And maybe you have a very small subgroup here, micro group, that you're now sending this information out to see what best practices can be absorbed from their efforts, and if conversions go up, whatever the data says. But basically, you're testing with these micro groups as opposed to just kind of sending it all out to the full affiliate group. Basically, one thing that we've talked about also, and we're going to talk about, is promo codes, right? And one thing you want to be mindful as a merchant is sometimes influencers don't like affiliate tracking. It kind of degrades them in a sense. They don't want to really publicize that they're making money off of these promotions or these influencing ideas, and they would prefer coupon code. A lot of platforms like AWIN have coupon tracking, and that's what you want to do, is give them these co-branded codes for them to help influence conversion, but at the same time not have affiliate tracking. So that could be part of the segmentation, right? You have a group of people that may be influencers, but there may be subgroups that are influencers that are just tracking code. And others that are just promo code tracking. So that also would influence how you would set up your communication with them. You want to go ahead and also think about pushing content to these groups, right? So we're going to talk about content soon, and content is very important in selling guides and a lot of the different topics we're going to talk about. But having these groups segmented allows you to really target what those end users, are working with, what those end publishers are working with, and really tailor it for them. One of the things we're going to talk about as we move forward is being able to give ideas on how to sell, and ideas on best practices on ways to convert and generate additional lists in that particular demographic. So having very small micro groups allows you to really tailor those messages for them and assist those affiliates with developing their own program, developing their lists and their website and their business model.
So part of, piggybacking a little bit on what John was saying about keeping affiliates kind of in the loop so that they have the content they need to share. There's a few ideas as they're part of your team. They're really your marketing team, so we've got to feed them well. That means feed them with data, feed them with promo codes, all those kind of things they need. And sometimes you can take, or I would recommend taking the top affiliates, maybe give them something exclusive. A exclusive trackable promo code would be a great idea, and use that information to so that they can reach out, on video, for instance, with a promo code. They don't need a link to click or anything, and it still goes back to them, and they're much more likely to share that as well. But they also need to know details, such as the upcoming promotions in advance so they can prepare for it. They need to know when it ends. They need terms and conditions. They need to sometimes even be given the time zone. If it's got a hard stop, Central or Eastern versus Pacific time, we got 3 hours. That can make a big difference. So they need to know all of those kind of details. If there's coupons or anything they should not be promoting, and sometimes they can be filtered out, but they need to know that up front, because that's lost opportunity for them if they're promoting the wrong thing. So those are some ideas of things you can feed them. Now for marketing data, there's some ideas here. They have, what your marketing calendar is, your priorities, your top sellers, your margins, all of those kind of things. You can share some of that with your best affiliates. And thinking about an affiliate program, generally there's going to be a large inactive group, and then you have your sale or click actives, but no sales, and then you have a much smaller group of sale active affiliates. So I like to keep track of those click active, sale active, and watch the rankings and how they change month over month. You can see who's new, who drops off, all that. But so anyway, you're sharing this marketing data with that top group of sale actives usually. And then these are the ones you have personal relationships with. You might meet them at a conference, take them out to dinner, whatever. But they're the ones that know your editorial calendar. You might let them know about new product launches, items out of stock, all these kind of details. They're on your team. So you point that an email blast for the advertiser was the affiliate channel. A new SEO campaign can lift, all the channels are interconnected, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So that's another good reason to work together as a team here for these things. Also, one other thought was the last point there, particularly around highly promoted events like Black Friday. You might take 1 to 3 or so, depending on what makes sense, affiliates, and leak something to them, one of your Black Friday deals. Give them some heads up, advance notice, let them write about it before you even officially release it. That empowers the affiliate with something that they're excited about, but it also creates a lot of buzz for you within their audience. And then when you release the full Black Friday list, the affiliate has credibility, and you've got a lot more buzz out there about it. So, in short, you essentially can use affiliates and their audience to reach those customers that you aren't reaching or can't reach in some cases, because they have so many unique ways and their unique voice, and they can do things that you can't do.
And following up on Mike's, comments here, this is a little bit vague, but one of the things we're working on with GetResponse. GetResponse obviously is a marketing platform that has free forever plans and then of course paid plans. And our affiliates get paid for the paid plans. So they're bringing in traffic, they're creating leads, but the ultimate goal for us and for them is to convert these leads into paid sales. And we're working on a platform so that we can communicate with our affiliates that if they bring in a free lead, or a sign-up lead, for them to continue that communication with those particular customers to try to convert them. So that's a unique way of sharing information between the two companies, right? So that we know that we have these free accounts, we know that this affiliate brought in this particular lead, and now we're both marketing to that particular customer in order to uplift them into a paid plan. We don't want to duplicate efforts, but we want to enhance efforts. So there would be more of a soft sell on their side, maybe giving information on marketing automation, giving reasons why the platform makes sense for their business, whereas we're doing a hard sell, or harder sell with promotion code and things like that. But it's a work in progress. And the reason why I mentioned it is something is because if you're a merchant and you're working with affiliates that have email lists, I think it's something to aspire to. There are definitely regulations involved in sharing email lists and so on and so forth, but you can have that opportunity if we kind of all figure out how to make it work. And then that goes to what Mike said about having them reach customers you can in a unique way.
Offering different creative options is a really big important thing here. So, the traditional ones tend to be banner ads and text links, and it is important to have those available for your publishers that have email lists. Because a lot of times, perhaps they're just sending out an email that's a wrap-up of all of their articles for the week. But at the bottom, they happen to drop in a text link to your product because it happens to fit with one of those articles. That could be an incredible performer for you. And depending on the size of the publisher and how well they've done, that may even be a tactic that you can get just for free, just for their commission rate. So, how nice is that to be able to test it out? And if you find out that they really rock at that, then that's when you can start saying, you know what, let me give you a couple $100 so you can include me, once every month for the next quarter or something like that. So there's different ways that you can do that. But kind of one of the things that I've seen as well, though, is that a lot of people aren't out there, a lot of the merchants aren't out there necessarily doing something that's a little more customized, a little bit more targeted. So here, for example, I've got, options targeting the same audience. When I think about it, like there's so many, video games or things like that, or video game t-shirts and stuff, people really love those. But are you selling it, have something that's there to sell it to the teen, have something that's there to sell it to the mom, have something that's there to sell it to grandma who's only heard the name, but she'll recognize the name, she knows nothing else about it. But if you've got that kind of creative that's available for the affiliate to just be able to drop right into their program, it's gonna make it super easy for them depending on how much they're segmenting their list. And they're gonna kind of try and rotate different things too based on what it is they're gonna watch to see what the results are. They're gonna know what makes them money or not. I mean, they're in business too, and they're a partner with you, and if they think that they can make money with you they're gonna put your text link onto their email list for sure. So, you know, trying to do that, and also like reaching out to them, let them know that you've got this creative available, because so often I see stuff about, you know, we've got this great new sale, and here's 4 banner ads for it, and they never talk about what you could do on their email list. You know, tuck that in there.
I would also say to leverage their call to action and their disclosure, because if you have a good, strong disclosure that's worked as a call to action, support my efforts. You know, if you like what I'm doing here, you can support me by shopping through,
Yes.
I link with, and that can be a really powerful thing.
And that's totally FTC compliant.
Yep, have to do it.
Which is a really big deal. Mike and I are both on the Performance Marketing Association. Mike's the president of it, I'm on the board of directors, which is kind of like the industry organization for affiliate marketing here in the US. And I'm on the Compliance Council, so I always watch for stuff like that really closely. But you do have that flexibility, you know, where you can say, as the affiliate, they can say, you know, just disclosing, this contains affiliate links. If you make a purchase, I may receive a commission. If you'd like to help support me, please consider making this purchase. So you can leverage that, and I think somebody that both Wade and I know, who is a big barbecue fan and has a big blog about a barbecue, actually, as part of his disclosure, put on there, you know what, if you buy something, I may be able to buy another slab of brisket, you know, and just have fun with it, and they can do that. And you can help your affiliates know how to do that as well. Give them some ideas on what to do. It can help promote your sales and at the same time ensure that they're FTC compliant, because the FTC, as we all know, likes to watch everything we do, and they are starting to get a little bit more aggressive. I think we're gonna see that over the next couple of years. And one thing that's important to know is that they're gonna come after the merchants first, before they go after the affiliates. So you need to make sure that you've got that partnership, that communication. It's not that they're gonna come down and beat your head up because you had an affiliate that was bad, because we all know that that happens. What has been your consistent best practice? So if you can demonstrate that that's been your consistent best practice, is to always show them, this is how you should disclose, this is okay to use, then really, you're in a good place. You're not gonna have trouble with that. So just something to keep in mind, you can actually use the disclosure to your advantage, so thank you on that one, Wade. But really be out there with the creative. I mean, because I see so many things where people are focusing just so tightly on that banner post, and completely forgetting email. Be generous. It's worth the, 10 minutes to put that together and to load it up into your system, definitely.
So we're a little bit more than halfway through. Hopefully everybody's doing well, and the party last night didn't get to you here. Morning coffee work. I really like this slide, and it's kind of close to home for me because, at GetResponse, we're an email marketing company, and affiliates, or some types of affiliates, the ones that we're talking about, use email marketing. So content creation is a big part of my job as head of affiliate marketing, and more so than any other company I've worked with. But this is something I want to share to you as a best practice, because it's not just us. One of the things that our goals for 2022 is to create a real turnkey affiliate marketing ecosystem. And by doing that, really integrating a lot of the tools that we have at GetResponse with the tools that we have on the affiliate program itself. And a lot of that is on this list. And basically what we're saying is that you need to create special content for this group to use. And this is where it goes from the larger email affiliates that you may customize, and the smaller email affiliates that you're doing more long tail activity. And you're providing content like, soft push templates that they could possibly use for one-on-one emails if they're soliciting, for your product on your behalf. And that may not be, hey, buy this product, but it may be, do you need this service, right? Or something to that effect with us as marketing automation, right? So it may be a tutorial on marketing automation, or the benefits of, and then a little advertisement for GetResponse at the end. It's a real one-on-one kind of conversation. But you're giving them that content to use to really make it their own. You're giving them a template, right? Same thing with newsletters. So I have a platform that creates newsletters, and we just draw it into the affiliate program and have these small list affiliates or larger list affiliates use these templates to sell GetResponse. Again, they need to make it their own, but they have the content, they have the technique to sell, they have the talking points for your particular product or service or brand. Infographics, another thing. If they have a landing page that they're sending people to, if you have an infographic that is a visual interpretation of what your product or service or brand does, it's another soft sell, right? And then that may link back to your website as a merchant. Also, it looks like you can do some of the inserts, right? So in other words, not create the whole newsletter, but be able to create some sort of insert to an existing newsletter that promotes maybe one of your products or services, a smaller scale version of that. And that would literally be something that you grab. It goes totally with what Janine was talking about, less banner ads and hard sell, but more of a just, a blog, blurb for that. And, basically, you're giving your affiliates this foundation, encouraging to use this content, to make it their own, giving them techniques to sell, and you're also A/B testing your messaging, right? So you can do numerous versions of this and see which ones convert best, which one has a high open rate, things of that nature, and really fine tune it so that not only are you converting and making money, but so is your affiliate. And that's basically the best practice.
It's a good practice.
Exactly.
This is a strategy that I just see underused all the time, and that is to offer a freebie. So my role as partner acquisition and development means I work on both sides. So I bring new merchants into AWIN. I also bring in a lot of affiliates. I am a member of an obscene number of Facebook groups, for example, that are all affiliates trying to figure out how to make more money in whatever they do. And one of the first things they're told is have some place where people can go ahead and sign up for your email list, build your email list. They're always looking for a freebie that they can give away. And sometimes they'll create something on their own, but man, if a merchant comes up and says, by the way, here's this great thing that you can give away, oh yeah, sign up for my email list and you're gonna get this free gift, which is, it can be a directory, it can be a meal planner. There's a million different things, and you guys all know your businesses so well, or your clients' businesses, because I know we have a lot of agencies in here as well, where they've got something that they can put together. It does not have to be War and Peace. Oh my God, it doesn't. It can be a couple of pages long with like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 great ideas, that's just like, oh my God, I never thought of that. Whereas for your clients or for you, that's old hat. I mean, you know that every day, but they don't. And so to work with your affiliates and be that kind of a partner with something to provide to them, it can help them grow their list. And in addition, because it's your item, it can help you grow your list, as well. So there's a lot of different factors that you can leverage in there, and like I was joking, you make stuff that's targeted. So like one of Mike's clients is Herb's luggage. So, best ways to pack light, if you're gonna be going overseas, or, what you need to take if you're gonna go hiking through the Andes, or whatever, just have different things like that, and give them a couple of choices, be available to kind of rotate those out for them, so that they've got something that they can refresh their list often with too. Because what's gonna happen to a lot of those bloggers and stuff is they've got people that have come to their site, still haven't signed up for the email list because there hasn't really been a good reason. Damn, I want that particular guide. I'm finally gonna sign up just so I can get it. So you're their partner as well. To take it one step further, if you've got some way that they can customize whatever that freebie is to put in their content in conjunction with yours, maybe they can customize the homepage or something like that, or the front page on the cover of the PDF. Whatever it is, I'll let you guys figure out the technology. I'm not an expert on that part. But being able to do that, so it's showing the partnership, is one more reason for them to promote you. And to promote you on, on their emails, because it looks like they're working with this great company that they love and respect. Affiliates love that, to be able to do that. So, it's not rocket science. I'm not gonna try and claim that it is. I didn't just, invent something that's gonna win the Nobel Prize, but it's not leveraged. So if you guys do that and you come up to them, they could be working with 20 affiliate programs, and all of a sudden you're their favorite, because look what you just did to help them grow their list and hopefully get some additional sales. So little thing can be huge.
Yeah, and basically, as an example of that, is you can have, a free marketing automation, like in our business, free marketing automation course, that really doesn't have a cost to it anyway, but again, to the affiliates to give free to their customers for sign up. It helps them build that list. Another piece of this, folding over to the freebies is, or providing some sort of value-added content, is develop webinars. we found it very effective to create these webinars that are topical and are, not necessarily, again, a hard sell, but very soft sell on the industry or the business or, value added or best practices for the end users, and then give that to the affiliates to use. Encourage them to make it their own, have, obviously introductions, they can have fade outs, they can have conclusions and summaries, they can add this, a promo code that we talked about earlier where, that's the tracking on the webinar. Basically, it gives them an opportunity to really deep dive into your product or brand and do more than just like the quick scan of a web page or the quick scan of an email. And it also can help them build lists in a sense so that, if it is a value added and maybe they're taking video from another webinar that you produced and they're, that's some sort of demonstration of your product or services or its application, and then they're using it within their webinar series. So again, it's really about pushing as much relevant content out to these affiliates in a long tail fashion, again, because what they're doing is they're taking this as like a content library, and then they're making it their own, and they're giving their own relevance to that particular topic, and then using it for list creation, and using it to sell your product or both. You can get a little deeper with some of the larger guys that do co-branded or coordinated versions of these kind of things. But with these smaller affiliate lists, it's really just developing these libraries and keeping it fresh. That's another piece that, we hadn't added a bullet point. It's good to do all these different things, create content, create all of these different options for your smaller affiliates to grab onto and use, but it's gotta be fresh, right? If you have product updates, you need to go ahead and change, the information. If in fact, there's different pricing and things like that, of course you wanna update that. Or if the industry's changed, and there are different tactics or the different things that are utilized within the industry, you want to go ahead and refresh that content. So that should be part of your schedule, right? Don't just throw it out there and forget about it. Keep it fresh and keep it relevant. And that's really, it's the best way to have a customer dive into information that's relevant for your brand, product, or service, and then not feel like they're really being sold something, but become involved with it, right? And then they make the decision to go ahead and buy based on, additional solicitation.
And some really good ideas have been given, and I want to step back just a little bit into the general topic of educating our affiliates and think about how did a lot of affiliates get involved. They were a fan, or they had an idea, they liked something, and they became known for it. So they didn't, in many cases, set out to start a business, but it became a business. And so now they gotta learn how to grow and what to do about it. And they've been used to live video on social media. And at some point, they've got to get past that to realize that that's a quick hit on rented space, and they don't own that content that they put out there. So they've been putting out, sometimes, in some cases, years of content that they don't own. So they've got nothing. So I think we can encourage them to build their brand. We've talked about email. You might even have to tell them to use email to build their list. But especially don't just depend on that rented space of social media. And then another thing that's going to hit them is when they start earning money is they're going to be tempted by money because they realize, oh, I did this and I got this much money. If I do this much more here, I'll get this much more money. And it can easily get into the unethical side of things. And they're going to have to resist that, or they're going to kill the goose that lays the golden egg. Because you cannot build a long-term reputable business being unethical. You've got to be honest and truthful throughout, because if you lose that, they've lost everything. So they need to know the basics of those kind of things and have to be encouraged. And much like it's already been mentioned, the FTC disclosure, they've got to also be consistent to put those details in that, hey, I could make money off these recommendations I'm giving, and just be creative in that. So I've talked a little bit about the don'ts and pulled in some of the do's in talking about it, but ultimately, if they can grow their affiliate channel in their voice, around their personality, or whatever it is, if it is their pull, that's great. Be ethical in it, love their audience, and then they won't do anything bad to their audience. Just like if we love our affiliates, we won't do anything bad to them either. So that's kind of a value judge, I guess, guide I would use on that. And then finally, they've got all this content that they've made. They may have done it on Facebook Live or something like that, but if they can turn that back into something that they can post on a website or reuse seasonally, then they have a chance at recurring revenue and long-term SEO rankings. And for you as the advertiser here, if your affiliates are ranking well, they're very unlikely to outrank you ever, but they might beat some of your competitors out. So that would be really great to dominate that first page of the search results. And you may be able to do it by yourself and with a handful of trusted affiliates. So that's part of the goal of education, and don't forget the honesty and ethics in the whole picture, or you can kill the whole thing without those. So that's just kind of my step back, big picture look at some of these
Educate them. Yep.
little details.
And on the heels of that, we create selling guides for our affiliates. We create affiliate guides, product guides, there's different interpretations of what we put out. But basically, in this context of what we're talking about, selling guides are important. So, again, as the advertiser, you know how best to sell. And it's not just for email marketing, affiliates, it's for all your different verticals within the channel. And really try to identify best practices and identify best ways to sell, and give ideas, and take it from the perspective of these are brand new affiliates to actually the channel or even to your brand. Give real clear messaging on, detailed best practices, examples of, every type of affiliate, and the best ways to have for them to actually go forward and sell. Give them an explanation of all this content you provided and what to do with it. So it's easy just to throw it out there, but a little instruction guide on basically how to utilize this and what needs to be customized, what needs for SEO ranking, and why that's important, and what doesn't, based on brand messaging and so on and so forth. That's very important to be detailed in that sense, and provide those selling guides to your affiliates to give them an instruction book basically on how to basically promote your brand and how to promote a product, or exactly what the benefits are, what things, going back to do's and don'ts, what things turn off customers, what things encourage customers, where promo codes make sense, where they don't. There are a lot of different conversations you can have based on, this resource that you're sharing with them. And again, going to best practices, we're providing best practices for you. You're doing exactly the same thing for your affiliates, and providing them the information as best practices on your particular product as the expert, and sharing it with them. And then of course there's feedback, right? So, you want to have conversations with them. You may have this angle that you're, going through with your selling guide, but version 2 of the selling guide may change because you've had this kind of epiphany, because you've had conversations with these folks and you're working together and you're learning from them also. So it's a give and take, but you have to start it with providing that information and getting them moving. And, they are the best people to sell, your product and focus on your product, because they're close to the end user in most cases. So this is really important for you to help develop their business, because a lot of affiliates that come on board sometimes are people that like your product and aren't necessarily professional affiliates. And in this particular context that we're talking about, these are smaller folks that you're developing and hopefully eventually becoming bigger affiliates, but ultimately you want them to make money, because they make money. As the beauty of affiliate marketing. If they're making money, you're making money. So basically, as a business model, you're creating this whole setup and step-by-step process for them to digest and really make their own.
So we're going to move on to questions. Before we start that, I just wanted to say thank you,
Yes.
all of us, for you guys spending some time with us today on this. We hope we gave you some ideas More than anything, that's what we wanted to do, was just trigger thoughts about how you could do stuff with your respective companies. If anybody wants a copy of the slides, just give me your card and we'll be happy to send them to you, because it really kind of ended up, I think, a little smaller than we thought type-wise. So we're glad to do that. And then here's all of our email addresses. We're also going to hang out here and answer any questions we can. So thank you all so very much. If anybody's got any questions, please feel free to ask them, or else mission accomplished. Yes?
How do you handle the bad guys? Because you mentioned there are a lot of good email affiliates that you represented. Is
Yeah.
there some instant way how to handle those bad guys? And there are also them, if you have some pre-warning or warning, because they can destroy a lot of programs.
They really
so do you
can.
have some like funnel how to?
My answer is you need to communicate with them exactly what the violations are. You need to explain to them in detail exactly what the violations are and the impact to your business and to their business, and whatever, FTC, violations they may have. And, basically you gotta turn them off. You give them 1, 2, 3 warnings, depending on, how productive they are. Obviously, they're very.
And how bad the violation is.
And how bad.
Yeah, you get through.
I think give them free sometimes.
Well, it depends on the customer, right? I'm a little lenient, right? 'Cause it depends on the affiliate, not the customer, but, right, if it's a very bad violation, you're gonna turn them off after 1 warning.
Yeah.
But the key to sending those warnings is to insist on them communicating back that they understand and they're gonna cease with the practice. If they don't, then that warning
Then
it's
they're
over,
gone.
then they're gone,
Yeah, you can take a look at them and kind of get some sense of how big they are. If it's somebody who's brand new and has no clue,
Exactly.
and it's an innocent mistake, it's like, hey, don't do that. If it's somebody where they're huge and they've probably pulled this on other people before and you're just the next victim up, out of the program now. And I will tell you that from our standpoint, as an affiliate network, we find somebody pulling that stuff, they're out of the network, and we withhold all of their commissions, period. And they know that up front. We've got no problems. If you violated the terms and conditions of the program, you don't deserve to get paid for whatever you did.
One additional question, do you have, or what is the process of the pre-check? If you even don't let those bad guys, there is no way how to find it actually. If you just rely on, okay, they will sign a contract where they write, okay, all of my email addresses that I use are the obtained and I consent, but they are not. Because these bad guys, they don't really take care, they just sign the contract and say, okay,
Yeah.
So if you have some pre-check process how to find out if they are.
Well, that goes back to what Mike was saying, screen them. Don't have an auto approval. If you have a business where this becomes an issue, you need to pre-screen them and look at what their business practices are, what they're doing out there. And if it looks shady, then you make the decision not to work with them.
Ask for samples of what they're sending now,
Right.
sign up for their
Yeah.
list, get a feel for what they're
Sign
doing,
up for
whether
their
they're
list.
compliant. Because you
Right.
wanna be on the list anyway, because you wanna be able to see how they're presenting your brand.
Exactly.
Make sure that you're on the seed list.
Absolutely, like I can tell you from a network perspective, before we let somebody into our network, we run about 30 different checks on them. And what we did when we first started doing that is we went out and we found the baddest black hatter we could find. I mean, this guy knew every trick in the book, and we hired him to set up our compliance team. And it worked out great. We have one computer that has every kind of bad software on it you could possibly imagine, not hooked into anything else in our system. It's a standalone. But, we've got all sorts of different ways that we'll go back through and try and check on that. We will have people that will lie. They will come in and they are, Susie Snowflake, and then, they turn into Bad Bart the next day. But we've got systems in place to also keep trying to check on them. So there's systems that you can subscribe to. There's protections that you can get from, like, I'm a proponent of affiliate networks, obviously, that's who I work for, but there's a lot of reasons for that besides just working for an affiliate network, because I haven't always been working for an affiliate network in my career. And so, but I trusted my networks to help protect me, because I saw stuff that happened on in-house programs. And, one of the things too that I'll always recommend is that whoever you work with, or if you're doing an in-house program, have the ability and have it included in your terms and conditions that if they violate anything, any policy, you can shut them off immediately and withhold all their commissions. I mean, there's some networks that are out there where it's like, no, we have to give them 7 days warning. Why? So they have 6.5 more days to mess up with your program? No. On A1, we can kick them out of the program in about 8 or 9 seconds, literally. Their links don't work. So, you know, include that in whoever it is that you're working with. Make sure that that's a functionality that you've got so that if they are bad, they know that you can stop them right now. The last guy that we stopped thought he had $22,000 in commissions coming. He didn't. He didn't get a penny. And he had spent money to try and make that money in violation of the terms of the program. So, oops, gee darn, so sad, too bad, bye-bye. You know, so that's what I